In order to get started with Nearpod.com, the first thing you're going to do is create your account. And you actually really don't have to do much to create your account because we are a subscriber to Nearpod and we are also a subscriber to Office 365. So it will allow you to create your account and log in with your 365 account. So after going to the Nearpod.com website, you should arrive at a page that looks like this. And then you're going to click on the upper right hand side over here. Now if you have already logged into Nearpod before, you can go ahead and click on Login, and you are going to select the option that says Login with Office 365. If you have not created an account yet or you've never logged in before, what you're going to do is we're going to go back over to the Nearpod.com homepage, and what you will do is you will click on Sign Up for Free, and the page is going to look very similar in that you are going to sign up with Office 365, putting in your Office 365 credentials, and that's going to connect you to our school subscription. As I already have an account, I'm going to go ahead and already log in with Office 365, and this is going to bring me to the Nearpod.com landing page. Your page is going to look similar to this. However, if you have not used Nearpod before, you're not going to have any lessons down here. The landing page brings you to your library, and your library is going to be all the lessons that you create within Nearpod. If you're new to Nearpod, Nearpod has some similarities to a slideshow presentation like PowerPoint, but it's got a lot more interactive features that the students can participate in, and you can use this as an in-class lesson where you would be able to control the session and you would be able to control each slide that the students see on their devices, but you can also assign this for homework so that students can view this at home at their own pace. So in order to get started, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating a brand new lesson. So when you come down here where it says create your own, we're going to be creating a new lesson in Nearpod. And when this comes up, there's a couple of things that you want to remember to do first. You're going to see up here it says Untitled Lesson. I would suggest that you name your lesson first, because if you forget to do that, it doesn't prompt you to actually name it. So think of a topic that you're going to be covering with your students, and you're just going to click inside here and you're going to name it. Once you have your name, all you have to do is click away from it and your name is saved and we're ready to get started. So you can see here, to build a Nearpod slide, you're going to be adding slides. That's the terminology they use, just like in PowerPoint. If you are a PowerPoint user and you already have a PowerPoint presentation, you can actually bring those slides in here and you can work off those slides as well. Just keep in mind, if you do upload a PowerPoint, any animations or anything like that that you have on those slides are not going to work. It's basically going to take a screenshot of each one of your slides and incorporate it into this presentation, and then you will be able to add some of the interactive slides in between the slides of your PowerPoint. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to start from scratch. So we're going to add the first slide to our Nearpod by clicking Add Slide. So you're always going to be presented with these three different options: Add Content, Add Web Content, and Add Activity. So Add Content is going to allow you to bring in some traditional looking slides as well as some simulations and some labs type of stuff that the students can sort of interact with. Web content is just a quick way to get the students to go to a particular website that you want them to look at, and it keeps them in the confines of your Nearpod lesson. And the Add Activity, which we're going to go over in other videos, is what's going to allow them to then interact within the Nearpod, things such as quizzes and drawing activities, collaboration activities, and those types of things. So we're going to start by clicking on Add Content. And when you click on Add Content, you're going to get a whole different menu at the bottom of the different types of content that are available to add. The first one here says Slide, and this is very much like a traditional PowerPoint slide. And this is a good one often to start out with to sort of introduce your lesson. Vocabulary is something that's fairly new, and this does require a subscription. It looks like they are offering it for free right now, so if you want to explore it, you can. Nearpod 3D, there are some 3D models in here, and for those of you in the science field, a lot of the Nearpod 3D would lend itself to your curriculum. PhET simulations, there are math and science activities and labs that the students can interact with here. Field trips, places all over the world where there are panoramic views that the students can view. You can go into field trips. And then if we scroll over here, there is a graphing calculator, the Desmos graphing calculator, which is fairly new for those of you who teach math. There are some BBC videos that can be incorporated. If you're a user of Microsoft Sway and you have sways in your fields, you can incorporate them as well. Slideshows, we'll go over that later. If you want to incorporate a video, you have a video that you want to upload that you have created, you can do that. And then finally, audio, where you can add saved audio or your own voice, which we're going to go over. And then there's a couple of other things here that we're not going to go into much. So let's start out with a very basic slide by clicking slide. And once it loads, you're going to see the similarities it has to PowerPoint. So it assumes that this is your first slide and you just want to basically add a title here. And then over here in this bottom area, you can either add an image, text, a video, a couple of different things. Down here below this slide, if you want to change the layout of the slide that you are currently on, you can change the layout if you want more elements or more text boxes. Audio over here, if you wanted to add a saved audio file, or if you want to record your voice, which we'll go over. And then there's a preview button so you can see what it looks like. So to add a title, you just simply click inside it and type your title. And then if you want to add an element here, you can click on this little plus sign. If I want to add, let's say, an image, the nice thing about Nearpod is you don't have to go out searching for your own images. Google image search is actually built right into the program. So if I look for Civil War pictures, I can search here and it will bring up any pictures that it can find that are copyright free that I can incorporate into my slideshow. So let's just select one and click Save. If you don't like your picture and you want to get rid of it, you have this little trash can over here. If you want to zoom in or zoom out of the picture because you want to focus in on something, you can choose that as well. If you're happy with the way your photo came out and your first slide, you can just click Save and Exit. You do have some themes over here that you can apply, just like in regular PowerPoint. If you want particular fonts and colors in the background, you can select one of those and apply it. And you also have a couple of options over here that I didn't tell you about, which is a background. So if you want to put a background on the back of that, you can also do that as well. We're just going to click Save and Exit for now. And this is going to save the first slide. So the first slide is here. Now it looks like it's sort of changing the order because we're going to add a second slide, but it will keep everything in order. So once it saves that slide, then we are ready to add an additional slide. So for your second slide, we're going to stay in the Add Content area, and you can go ahead and explore maybe the Nearpod 3Ds, the PhET simulations, the field trips. I'm going to go ahead and click on Field Trip, and they give you some suggestions here as to how to, what to look for in here. You can find places all over the world, so I'm going to see if there are any sites, Civil War sites, that we can include as part of what the students can explore, just so you can see what a field trip looks like. So these are the field trips that they have available that are related to my search. So if I find something that I think would be appropriate, I can include that in my image. So if I select this and I click Done, it's going to insert this into my slideshow. And at any point, if you want to take a look at what your Nearpod is going to look like so far to get an idea of what these field trip looks like, you have a preview button down here. And when you click preview, this is going to give you a student view of what this slideshow looks like so far. So as a student field trip, the student will be able to navigate through this picture, this panoramic picture, to take a look at what is going on in this particular field trip here. To get out of the student preview, you just click the little X in the upper right-hand side and it will bring you back over to your Nearpod. When you're done working on a Nearpod, even if it's not finished, you're going to go back to it, you always want to make sure that you click Save and Exit, and this will bring you back to your library page. In the coming videos, I'm going to show you how to add some of the more interactive features, some of the collaboration, the drawing activities, the writing activities that you can include in here so that the students are actively participating in your Nearpod lesson. When you do save and exit the first time, you will be asked to put in some information. You don't have to put in anything in description and tags, but it will force you to choose a grade, and it will ask you to choose a subject area as well. And then you can click save and exit, and it won't ask you that information again. So this brings me back, once I save and exit, back over to my landing page when I first logged into Nearpod. And the Nearpod lesson that I last worked on will always appear here first in my list. And you can see here when I hover on the lesson, I have that option to edit, which will allow me then to go back in and add more stuff, which we're going to do in the following videos.